So my name is Jahelia Thompson. I am a full-time faculty counselor here at South Suburban College for the past 10 years. And I am also a part-time psychology professor as well. So I have been teaching psychology for 15 years and working in higher education within the community college and university sector for 19 years. So that is the background that I'm coming from in providing this information for you today. I really want to emphasize the structure on being able to start the semester off on the right foot. That's why it's called taking the next semester to the next level, because this semester is setting the stage for everything you will do in the future. And I know it's not ideal because no one anticipated being enrolled in college courses virtually, not being in a classroom and seeing each other face to face, and doing a lot more email, phone calls, Zoom meetings. We didn't even know what Zoom was. So I know this is new for everyone, including instructors and the institution. So that's why I do ask students to have patience, patience with yourself, as well as patience with the faculty members and the institution, as we are all going through a difficult time and trying to make adjustments during a global pandemic and civil unrest. So all of my contact information is listed here on the screen. For anyone that does not have me as an instructor or a counselor, you can always reach out to me via phone or email. I am working virtually throughout the entire semester. I do not plan on returning, until the pandemic has been resolved. So you can meet with me through Zoom, phone calls, emails, and I have been able to successfully help students since March of last year. So this has been a successful journey in transitioning from on-campus services to providing virtual services to my students. I also assist students who wish to transfer to a university after completing their degree at South Suburban College. So I do work closely with the transfer school representatives. I evaluate college transcripts from other institutions that students have attended. So if you have questions about any of those issues, pretty much any question you have, if I can't answer it, I can point you in the right direction to be able to get that question answered. So one of the goals of the institution in helping students get off on the right foot is making sure that you are registered for the Overview for College Success class. Has everyone in here taken that class, the Overview for College Success? Are you enrolled in it now, or you've taken it already? And there's a raise hand option, or you can type in the chat yes or no. Anyone not do that class? No messages popping up. Let me see.
That's the OCS or something like that.
Yeah, the OCS. Have you done it?
Yes.
Somebody found a way to write on the screen. So, yes, the over for
I
college.
haven't done mine.
Sapphire said yes, she did. Somebody else said something. What was it?
Mine is tomorrow.
Okay, so you start tomorrow, which is good.
Yeah.
So I can tell you now, the Overview for College Success course is a requirement for all new students, a 1 credit hour, 8-week course. You can either take the class the first 8 weeks from January until March, or you could do it the second 8 weeks from March until May. It is only taught by South Suburban faculty counselors, and our goal is to assist students with creating a plan to reach your career and academic goals. So one of the biggest assignments in the class that you'll work on is the Master Academic Plan, which is what that acronym MAP stands for. That tool is going to guide you in meeting the requirements for your associate's degree, while at the same time meeting the requirements for your transfer institution and for your major. The college offers 2 transfer degrees, the Associate of Arts degree and the Associate of Science degree. So students should be in one of those degrees if your goal is to go to a four-year university. If your goal is not to go to a four-year university, then you are pursuing an Associates of Applied Science degree, like for our nursing or radiology program or criminal justice, or you are doing a certificate. And again, those career degrees that are Associates of Applied Sciences are not designed to transfer, but there are some four-year universities in the area that will accept that degree and allow students to move forward towards their bachelor's, but not a whole lot of them. Most students are doing the transfer degree, the AA or the AS degree. So what I want to make sure is that you have the correct curriculum code in the system. So if you're on your computers, which you should be, but some people do Zoom on their phone, if you can, log into your self-service account and look and see what's listed as your curriculum code when you go into self-service and you click option 1. It should say either UND.AA, which is for undeclared Associate of Arts degree, or UND.AS for undeclared Associate in Science degree. We no longer have specific curriculum codes that say psychology, PSY.AA, or biology, BOI.AS. We no longer do that. It will just say UND for undeclared AA or undeclared AS. So sometimes that confuses students when they log into their self-service account. If what is listed is not correct, send me an email so that you can get it updated, because that's the only way you will know what classes you need to take for your degree. If it's not correct in the system, it won't show you the right courses to take. So I completed my bachelor's degree in psychology at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. And this was about 20 some years ago, right? But I will tell you then, there was a paper catalog and there was a really nice woman that worked as an advisor in the psychology department. And she showed me the list of requirements for bachelor's in psychology in the catalog. I took that catalog back to the dorm with me. I circled every class. I put the semesters next to it because I wanted to be done in 4 years. I wanted to make sure I did it right. And I never saw that lady again after my freshman year because I used that catalog to a T to make sure that what I was doing was accurate. Nowadays, you don't have to have that paper catalog and hold on to it for 4 years. It's on the computer. You log into self-service, you click option 1 for progress. You can see the program that you're in. You can look at some new ideas you might have for a new major that you want to try, and it will show you what the requirements are for each and every one of them. So there's no confusion on what classes you should be in, which makes things a lot simpler and a lot easier. So hopefully you all have been using self-service because it is a really good tool to help students stay on the right track.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I tried to log into my self-service portal, it said I had no constituency defined or something like that.
Okay.
So
I think I know what you're talking about, and it might mean that you don't have a curriculum code. It's like no constituency.
Yeah.
Okay. Send me an email, please, with your ID number so that I could talk with you and get that updated.
Okay, because I also think that the major that I'm in now isn't like a transferable one, and I think I want to switch it to a transferable one.
Okay. So we definitely need to talk then. So send me an email so we could update that and then we'll talk.
Okay.
Good. So it's a good thing you caught that. So any other questions or concerns once people looked at that? Because sometimes there are some mistakes and things need to be updated and fixed. So just shoot me an email if you notice something strange. So what I do recommend for students that are undecided or that do plan to transfer is that you focus on your general education core curriculum. The college will stamp your SSC transcript as GECC completed if you complete the total 38 credit hours of general education classes that are required. So no matter what major you go into, every student has to take the 38 general education credit hours. There's no getting around it. Sometimes students ask, can I test out of math? Can I test out of English? No, no, no. The only thing you can do is take the placement test and try to test into college level and complete the courses. But there's no testing out in terms of not doing the class. You can take a CLEP test, and if you score high enough, receive college credit. But those are alternative credit methods. That doesn't necessarily consider it a test out because you're paying to take the CLEP. Or if you paid and took the AP test when you were in high school, if you pass that test, then you'll be granted college credit for that test you took. So again, it's an alternative way to earn credit, but you have to submit the transcript from College Board or CLEP if those are ways that you want to earn credit at the college and use it. So in the general education core curriculum area, there's 5 categories. So this is what you want to focus on within your first year, no matter what your major is. It's always going to be English, math, speech, humanities and fine arts, social behavioral sciences. That's what you want to focus on. And then later, we can tailor it towards your major and the transfer school requirements. So always make sure that you are focusing on getting your gen eds done. When people say gen eds, they're talking about general education courses. When you talk about transferable classes, that includes general education courses, but it includes a lot more. So sometimes students ask, will this class transfer? Will that class transfer? There's so many classes that transfer. So it's like, you know, we have to know what you hope to transfer and use it for. Because you could take, you know, a business course, but if you're a psych major, that psych department at the four-year university is probably not interested in taking that business class and using it towards your degree. A lot of times things that don't apply to your degree are tossed out. So if you are wondering where you could see the complete list of the classes that fulfill the requirements for general education core curriculum, you can click the link that says catalog at the bottom of the SSC homepage, or from the Counseling Center website, there's a link to the Master Academic Plan. And on that, both of those, the catalog or the Master Academic Plan, you can see a full list of all the classes that fall under these categories. If you want me to email you a copy of it or send you the direct link, you can't find it or whatever, email me and I will send it to you. It only takes a second, so it's not a problem. So completing the general education core curriculum is really about 50% of your associate's degree. That's gen ed classes. The 25 credit hours that are geared towards general electives and 9 credit hours geared towards your concentration or program specific electives are the second half of your associate's degree. So ideally, what students plan to do or should plan to do is to spend 2 years at South Suburban and then spend another 2 years at the university level and get their bachelor's degree. So just to clear up some of the confusion, like what degree should I be doing? Should I be AA? Should I be AS? I don't know. If a student is interested in a liberal arts major like English, psychology, communication, journalism, even criminal justice and business fall under the AA requirements. Students who are STEM majors, and now they call them STEAM majors. If you're interested in science, technology, engineering, or math, or I think that's architecture, but help me out, it might be something else. I forget. Those students are doing the AS degree option, the associate in science. You would only do the associate in science if your major is heavy in the math and science area. If you're pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-pharmacy, you're an associate of science degree student because you've got a lot of math and science to take. And those degrees call for you to have high level math classes like calculus and 2 science courses, well, actually 3 science courses instead of 2. So you don't want to do an AS major unless you're sure that you are a STEM major. Even my nursing students, I code them as Associate of Arts if they want to transfer, because for a nursing degree, you don't need an advanced high level of math. You do need an excessive amount of biology. You need anatomy and physiology and microbiology, but you usually only need 1 statistics class. So why complete 2 math classes and do an AS degree if you don't have to? So I always recommend that students talk with a counselor, make sure you're on the right track to take the classes that are appropriate for what you want to do. So you'll see some of the differences that I've outlined here is that a student would take a 3rd science class and a 2nd higher level math class if they are coded as an associate's degree in science student. So it is a lot more work. It's a lot more difficult. I was a psych major. I hate math. I really don't like science either. So I took a class that was called contemporary math. It was the easiest math you could do, and I just prayed I passed because that's not my strong suit. The subjects I did like as a psych major were psych classes, social classes, drama, communication, and things like that. So you got to know, what lane you need to stay in based on what you want to study. And for sure, you have to know that AS degrees are just not advisable for students that are nursing or business majors, because you will end up doing either more math or science if you pursue the AS degree option. Does that make sense to everybody? If you're doing AA or AS? Yeah. Okay. If I say something that sounds confusing, stop me so that you could get your question answered. Unmute yourself or put it in the chat, and I will address it. So what do you do to choose your classes? Actually, funny story, I spent 57 minutes on the phone with a student this morning. So I was near burnout, but I got my second wind and I'm here. This student's brand new, 1st generation college student, meaning first person in the family to go to college. Didn't know anything about financial aid, nothing about testing, nothing about choosing classes, nothing about this virtual D2L learning environment, nothing about anything. So that is what I spent a lot of time working on earlier today. How do you choose classes? How do I choose a major? What do I do? And how do I do it? And how do I pay for it? So those are all common things that everyone is experiencing and going through. What is self-service? Who do I, all those questions are coming up. So it's not surprising. It's very normal to feel overwhelmed and confused. So don't think you're alone or that this is like, only happening at South Suburban College. No, it is happening everywhere. My son's at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale now. He's a sophomore working towards engineering. It's happening there. My daughter's a senior in high school looking at colleges to go to this fall, and it's happening there. The process for admission and testing is a mess. It's confusing. So I don't want you to feel like this is just an isolated, thing where you feel lost or confused. What I do know is that we're getting through it. This is the first week of class. So if you can't access your textbook on the first day, you can't log in on the first day, you missed class on Monday, you registered Thursday, it's okay. It's okay. You are going to be able to successfully complete your classes. You just got to communicate with your instructor, give yourself time to breathe, relax, slow down, take it one day at a time. It's going to be okay. It has to, because it's going to keep going. The world's going to keep spinning. It's not the end of the world. and you got to navigate around it. So what I recommend is that you use your counselor, you use the resources around you to make sure that you're making the best choices for you. If you have not decided on a major, usually it's a good idea, if you've done OCS and you still don't know what you want to do, there are other tools that we have as well, using Navistar Navistar to help students do some personality and career assessment. We also have different majors and curriculum in the catalog that could help. Career cruising is a free option too. So you can find out what careers sound interesting to you, or what classes or what disciplines sound interesting to you. So you can know where you want to lean. Because if you just start taking random classes, you may end up taking classes that aren't going to count towards what you want to do. It's okay to explore, but we don't want to explore for too long where we end up in school too long and wasting time and money. If you have not checked out the Transfer Center page, I advise you to go there now just to get a look at it. If you click in the search box and put in Transfer Center, because you might not be able to click the link, I think I can only click the link. But the Transfer Center now has direct access to transfer guides. These guides tell counselors and students exactly what classes you need to take if you're going to go to Governor State, if you're going to Roosevelt, you're going to UIC, and there's no mistake on what classes you should take at South Suburban that will automatically transfer over. It also tells you on our website if you're doing one of the career programs and you've got to do a separate application to get into nursing or occupational therapy or radiology. The applications are on the website. The criteria and the information for you to apply is on the website as well. So you've got to utilize these tools to make sure you're on the right track. We have to really make sure this is solidified, because tomorrow is the last day to add and drop classes that are 16 weeks. So that means after tomorrow, whatever schedule you have on Friday, you are stuck with that schedule. You are billed for that schedule, and you will owe money for those classes that you are registered for. So this is what I want you to do now, just to make sure while I'm thinking about that. And you all were in your self-service. Sometimes it kicks you out if you don't move around. But in your self-service account, I want you to click on where it says student planning. And then once you click the tab that says student planning, it should be, it should say like spring 2021. And then it will say that you could like save the classes on the iCalendar, and the last option says print. Does everybody see that? And I always use my son's account as a student account to help me out, because he has taken many classes that will transfer to SIUC. Everybody see that? Yes, no, unmute yourself. Let me know you're still out there. Are you still with me?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So if you click on student planning, and then it says option 2, go to plan and schedule. And then underneath that area where I was telling you, it'll say like, let me see if I'm doing the right thing. Your schedule. Make sure that your classes are listed here. The only schedule that is like clear and easy to read is once you click print. It shows you this screen where everything's in one place and it's easy to read. That's the only way I've seen it where it looks nice and neat. But of course I don't print it because I'm on my phone. So I just take a screenshot, and sometimes I send it to students because they don't know how to get access to it. But sometimes students plan courses in their self-service account and they think they're registered, but all they did was plan it. And that is the worst feeling in the world, because that means you've got nothing and you have to start from square one. So make sure in your self-service account that you check your schedule and make sure that you are actually registered for classes. So click that option for print so you can see the nice, neat schedule in your self-service. So again, if you're in a 16-week class, the last day to add and drop is tomorrow, unless you have a SAP, Standards of Academic Progress, financial aid whole, you will have an additional 3 days to add and drop. Students that are enrolled in or plan to enroll in an 8-week class, it's too late. First 8-week classes, the add drop period ended yesterday. So you can't get into a class that goes from January to March. It's too late. You got to do a second 8-week OCS if you haven't taken it. You got to do one that starts in March. So that's that with the deadline. So make sure you've got everything squared away by tomorrow. And remember that if you took the placement test and you placed into developmental courses, those courses are not transferable and they do not count towards your degree, but they are required and necessary that you pass with a C or higher in order to get to college level and to progress to reaching your goal and graduate. Students that do not take the placement test, that means that they've submitted either ACT or SAT scores. And if you scored a 480 or higher in the EBRW section of the SAT, that means you're at college level. If you scored a 530, that means you're at Math 100 level. And Math 100 is the highest level developmental class, but it's still a developmental class. So it does not count towards graduation. So in order for you to get into college level math, you have to have a 540. You need a 530 to be at college level math. And then that way you won't have to take the placement test. If you have a 460 to a 529, you'll be in Math 100 level, excuse me. So 460 to 529. So it was confusing for me when I came to South Suburban, because I think like the first semester, I thought Math 100 was worth college credit because anything that's 100 level usually is. And I found out later, nope, Math 100 is developmental and it does not count towards your degree. It's the highest level developmental class, but still developmental. And let me read the chat real quick. Sapphire said, does SSC provide a crash course for gen eds, meaning is there 8-week psych? So Sapphire, to answer your question, we don't have 8-week fast track accelerated classes at South Suburban. We have some 12-week classes at South Suburban that we call late starts. So instead of it being 16 weeks, it's 12 weeks. It's only shortened by a month. And that's the only thing that I'm aware of. Now, we do that because the success rate for students in those shortened semesters where it's an 8-week class has not been that great. There's been some instructors that have tried it in the past and the success rate for students is very low. So we have not offered many of those, but that's a good question. And then I will address this other question. I'll get to that one later. So any questions about the developmental classes and understanding how you got to get through those? Any questions on that? Nope. Okay, everybody good? Okay, so let me type this because I can't type and talk at the same time, right? I should be able to eat and walk at the same time. That's about all I could do. Okay, so let me make sure I got that. So I've already talked to you about the importance of making sure you get the semester started out right. And if you haven't done OCS, you do it. If you need to be in developmental classes, you do those first because it's going to block you from being able to do many classes like speech, biology. They all have reading and math prerequisites. So you do not want to postpone doing the English, reading, and math courses because those are the precursors to the classes that you need. So try to get those done first within the first year. We do have a couple changes that you might notice. When students take the English and math test, the lowest level has been removed. So that's good news for some. If you placed into English 097, we no longer offer 097. Students are going straight into 098. And so that was a plus for students, and we got rid of that. And there was at one point talk about the removal of another developmental class, but I don't think we've ironed that out. What I do know is important is that within the Illinois Community College system, we are trying our best to improve the process for students who need developmental classes, because there are 5 developmental levels of math. So at one point, students were here for 5 semesters automatically if they tested into the lowest level math. So that takes your 2-year degree and turns it into a 3-year degree sometimes. It delays graduation. It delays, students being able to enter the workforce. So what the Illinois Community College Board and Board of Education wants is a better pathway for students who place into developmental classes so that you can complete this process faster. So what we've done is create 8-week courses. And if anyone is in a Math 085 or a Math 091 class, you'll see that it's 8 weeks. And if you pass with a C or higher for the second 8 weeks from March till May, you'll be in the next level math class. So you'll go from Math 085 to being in Math 091, or you'll go from Math 091 to Math 093. So it is an option for you to knock 2 of them out in one semester instead of having students here doing each one of these classes for 16 weeks, because, that's a long time, to be in school. And again, taking classes that don't count towards your degree, it can be frustrating. But know that the last thing you want to do is to jump into Math 115 or 165, college algebra. You have no idea what you're doing. You're failing. You struggle with math already, so doing it online is even worse. You don't want to do that and have to retake the class, have an F on your transcript. So it is important that you start off where you test at, where your levels indicate you should be, so that you can be successful and build on your skills and not put you in something that's over your head and you're drowning right out the gate. So we know the importance of it, but again, that doesn't mean that it's not frustrating to have to do the developmental classes sometimes. So if a student hopes to attend South Suburban College on a full-time basis, you have to know that you need 12 credit hours. So that's why I said go in self-service now, check your schedules, because if you don't have 12, that means you're not a full-time student. So for a lot of people, that's really important. If you are a financial aid recipient and you're hoping to get your full financial aid award package, you have to have 12 credit hours to get that. Otherwise, it does decrease based on the number of credit hours that you're registered for. So if you want to be full-time and your parents say we need you to be full-time to stay on insurance or whatever, you've got to have 12 credits. That's usually 4 or 5 classes. Now, if you want to make sure you're done and graduate in 2 years, you got to step it up a notch. You're going to have to do 15 or 16 credit hours if you hope to get out of here within 2 years. I even tell students, take a summer class, take 1 or 2 classes in the summer. Taking 6 credit hours in the summer is considered full-time because that's an 8-week session. So you have to know that if you don't plan this out right, that your goals and how you envision things going it could change if it's not planned out right. So work with a counselor, use self-service so that you can stay on the right track to meeting your goals. So I went into self-service, and this is the schedule look that I told you I like a lot that I wanted to show you. And I recommend that all students, use self-service because it's the easiest, best way to get things done. And you can see when you look at the schedule, am I enrolled in classes or not? Yes or no? Unmute yourself, type it in the chat. Am I enrolled according to the screenshot?
No.
No. Who said that?
Destiny.
Destiny, how do you know I'm not enrolled?
It says planned 14 credits.
Perfect. That is what I want you to pay attention to, and I did that on purpose. It will say enrolled 14 credit hours if I was registered for classes. It only says I am planned for 14 credit hours, and this is where a lot of students go wrong. And they have done this back in October. I talked to a person who did this back in October, and they were so sure they were done. And then they went to look for classes last week, and they couldn't find out where their classes were and what was going on. And I said, you planned it, but you never clicked register. Now all the classes are full. It was like Bio 185, Psych 101, and no, full. So it's really disheartening. It's so easy to happen. Pay attention to what your self-service says in terms of registered versus planned. That's so important. So a sample schedule of someone that's coming to school full-time will look like this: an English class, a math class, and you see I put myself in developmental math because I told you I'm not good at it. A humanities or fine arts class, like Humanities 210, the OCS class, and the Intro to Psychology class comes from the Social and Behavioral Science department. So it's a good mix of general education classes. And I always help students build a schedule where there's a good balance. So like 2 hard classes and 2 lighter classes, or a good mix based on what you want to do. The last thing you want to do is take a math and science class together if those 2 are your worst subjects. You're just asking for trouble. Don't do it. Take math one semester and then focus on science another semester. It's always a good idea to try to set yourself up to be successful. So even when you want to finish fast, some of the most difficult schedules I see are the schedules of athletes. And I love athletes, but athletes have restrictions and they have to have like 16 plus credit hours so that just in case they withdraw from a class, they have 12 at the end of the day to stay full time. So if you have 6 or 7 classes and you're also a student athlete, it can be very overwhelming, very difficult. And so you have to work closely with a counselor or the athletic advisor to make sure that you're on the right track and that you're taking classes in a way where you can handle it all and be successful. So we want to, try our best to get on the right track right from the very start at the beginning of the semester. So no matter what class you're taking, whether developmental or a credit class, there are tutors available. And due to the pandemic, many students are utilizing the virtual resources that are available to access tutoring. So you can get a biology tutor, you can get an English paper proofread, the Writing Center is still available. So there's no reason why you should not be able to get some help. You may not know about it, but the resources are there. And even if you just ask a counselor or check the website, check your SSC student email every week, you will see newsletters sent out, emails sent out about the resources that are available. We are using a new software or website, BrainFuse. We've got different Zoom sessions going on where students are working one-on-one and small group meetings. So just know that no matter what subject you're in, the help is available to assist you. So I wanted to make sure this is the email address if you need to schedule an appointment with a tutor. And if Michael's still on the
Sorry,
call,
Juhelia, we actually have a new email now.
I was gonna ask you that. Can you put it in the chat for me?
Sure, no
Thank
problem.
you. I did not even know that. No one told me. I missed the note if it went out. Sorry. So do not copy this email. Michael, the director of our Academic Assistance Center, is going to type the correct email address in the chat for everybody. Thank you. And I'm going to put this in my notes too because I didn't get the memo. So we do have all of these virtual opportunities available to make sure that students are getting started where they need to be and do not feel like they are going through this lost and alone. Also, if you did not complete all 3 portions of the placement test or submit SAT scores, you can still test, and it doesn't mean you do the class this semester. You may be setting yourself up to be able to do it the following semester. You can email the testing center staff at testingcenterquestions@ssc.edu to arrange virtual testing, or you can still come on campus and do it. So you can submit those ACT and SAT scores to me or arrange to do the test on campus. Okay. Any questions about tutoring or testing? And thank you, William. There's the hours PDF file in the chat. So save that on your computer. So you'll be able to know, where do I go? I need help. You may not need it today, but in a few weeks, you may need help. I'm having students create a PowerPoint presentation, complete research papers. They need to use the library. So they have to connect with librarians, have access to the library journal database, and you're going to need these resources and know how to connect. So save it on your computer, jot it down, stay organized, because that is crucial to being a successful online student, is organizational skills and time management skills. You're going to need that. Any help that you might need while using the portal to register using self-service, waivers, address changes, those types of things will go to our registration and records office. So you can email them directly, and there's a chat function on the home page in the bottom right corner where you can talk to somebody right now, like an instant message chat function. You can use either one to get those questions answered. So we are trying to be as accessible as possible. And again, if you do not have a counselor that you have been working with, and maybe you're like, no, Ms. Thompson talked too fast, she ain't it, that's fine. You can email and talk to another counselor. It does not offend me, it's fine. Email counselingcenterquestions@ssc.edu, and that inbox goes to all 10 faculty counselors. And then someone from the department that's on the schedule will be able to get back to you. So email away. The other important thing I wanted to tell you about, and I think I may have included the link to this as well already, but I'm going to try and see if I can show you the example that I was talking about. So let's see how good I am in the next 15 minutes. And it is the transfer center page. And one of the things that the counseling department worked hard to do is to make the process of students who want to pursue a bachelor's degree as easy as possible, and those that are doing career programs but may later want to do a bachelor's degree a seamless process. We have representatives that are still holding virtual visits with students. So even though the campus is open, we don't have transfer school representatives coming out like we used to, sitting at tables and things like that. We have virtual visits, and that information is usually in the newsletter that's emailed to students. So if you click on the link to the Transfer Center page, and I'm going to put that in the chat, it's going to take you directly to the page that I was talking about with all the different schools. So I want you to click on that link, everybody. And then for a quick example, I want you to click on Governor State University. It's one of our closest feeder schools, so I like to use it as an example. And if you click on Governor State University, it will bring you to the long list of majors and degrees that they offer at that institution. So if your major is not listed here, it's probably not a real major because they've got so many at Governor State. So if you click on any of them that you might be thinking about, or you just want to learn like what all classes or requirements are needed for business anyway, you know, I think I might like business, but then you find out business means you've got to take calculus. So you're like, wait a minute, I don't like business anymore. You can go through this list and look at a variety of different majors and the requirements for each one of those institutions. So make sure you use that to help navigate your way through the college experience. And if your school's not on there, your major's not on there, you need more help or have more questions, email a counselor, email a counselor, email a counselor. And it can be me or anyone else, and we will help you. If you have not completed your schedule, you don't have 12 credits, you need to add drop. Remember, you have to finish it by tomorrow at the end of the day, but you've got to get registered soon. You've got to finalize everything right away. The area where you'll be able to get help if you don't know how to access D2L, or your class is not showing up in D2L, you don't know your password, you don't know how to create a PowerPoint presentation or upload an assignment or post to the discussion board, email our help desk and technical support area at ssconline. No, I think I said that wrong. ssconline@ssc.edu. And it's on here on the screen because for some reason I think I said it wrong. So make sure you email them and they will be able to help you.
Ms. Thompson, can I ask a question?
Yes, please do. Jump on in.
This is Mrs. Doyle. I'm in your class that's going on right now.
Okay. Is it Kamaya?
Yeah, Kiama.
I'm
I
sorry.
know my
Kiama.
Zoom says Kimmy, but that's what I go by.
Okay.
My question is, when you were talking about the counsel's office, is the transfer office different type of counselors, or are they all the same?
They're all the same.
Okay.
They're all the same.
And then
go ahead.
And then my question to couple with that. So like with I'm older, you know that. So with the times that we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I've been reading lately is that more schools that predominantly accept Caucasian students have opened the windows for more minorities to come in. So like USC, or Cornell or like Harvard are taking more minorities, and at these lower adjusted GPA rates. And many of the HBCUs now have an increased application pool of candidates that prefer to go to universities with people that look like minorities. How does the counseling and transfer office prepare a junior college student against the pool of these other candidates, or do they even evaluate it from that lens?
The counseling department would assist students academically and making sure that you have the proper curriculum that's required for those institutions, and helping you complete the admission process in terms of the application, recommendation letters, professional statements that are needed. And that would be the level of service that would be provided on our end. I
Okay.
have had a student that transferred to Stanford University a couple years ago, majoring in pre-law. Excellent student, 3.5, 3.6 GPA at SSC, and he received a full scholarship. And
Okay.
yeah, I have another student went to Georgetown as well, full
And so
scholarship.
you guys would, I guess, guide us on what type, when you read the application, they say, well, you need these letter of recommendations. We, if we at Target, we're not gonna get a letter of recommendation from them, but you'll tell us like what is the preferred letter of recommendation, or if they want us to, like Spelman wants you to upload a video, like a video clip interview of yourself where you're explaining yourself. Do South Suburban transfer or counselor team help you mock that or prepare for whatever you're saying to this video?
We definitely can help students with that language. Yes.
Okay. Okay. That was all of my questions.
Good question.
I just asked, because if I have to take loans out, then I don't want to go to Governor State, because I think a larger university is recognized at companies versus smaller universities is what I've been learning. So if I had to take the debt out, then I want to go to a school that's acknowledged. So that's why I asked.
Not a problem. Good questions. And I do just want to add that you may see our counseling department space have a small nook to the right that says Transfer Center, but we are all one hub functioning together to provide those services to students. So it is the same set of 10 faculty counselors. And next door, we have a career and job center that helps with the second leg of the process in terms of finding internships, jobs on campus and off campus, writing a resume, a cover letter. So that resource is available still virtually. And we have our College and Career Connect network online. So if you are looking for a job, let me know. There's a link I could send you to sign up on that website and get more information about that. But yes, we have several students that transfer from South Suburban to prestigious colleges and universities, like the University of Chicago, Stanford, Georgetown are the ones that I've worked with directly. But I will say this, many of the state universities in Illinois and some schools in Purdue are offering the in-district tuition rate. Some schools in Indiana are offering that. But the quality of education is not defined by the cost. And I did not incur any debt in undergraduate school by going to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, but I incurred an insurmountable amount of debt attending St. Xavier University in Chicago because it is a private institution and definitely with a higher tuition rate. And for graduate school, there's only scholarships and, opportunities for you to work as a apprentice or intern or fellowship to have monies toward graduate schools for master's degrees. So I will say that there are a lot of good institutions and opportunities in the area for students to grow. Many of our students start and end at South Suburban College, and one of my best students completed the Associate of Applied Science in Nursing, and after getting her associate's degree at South Suburban, became a nurse at a prestigious hospital at Northwestern University, and is now one of the administrators of that wing and department at the hospital with the Associates of Applied Science degree in nursing. And just most recently decided to go back to school to get our bachelor's degree in nursing. So you can go far with the associate's degree in the allied health field, even in the criminal justice field and the computer technology field for some. but many other majors, you will need a bachelor's degree or higher in order to have a middle class income or higher. So that's what I have found. Good, good. So I'm glad to hear that, Sapphire. So I do welcome all questions, concerns. I don't want it to be a black screen, but we've got just a few seconds left. Anyone have any feedback, questions, or comments for me?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no, never mind. Come back to me. I lost it.
Oh, no. Okay. Anyone else?
I have a question while we wait for the young lady to gather her thoughts. This
Uh-huh.
is Mrs. Doyle again.
Okay.
So us living in the suburbs and attending South Suburban, how do we like my girlfriend attends City Colleges of Chicago, and they helped place her like in a feeder program to become a teacher. And so she works as a TA in the classroom while she completes her college classes. If we decide, if I'm undecided, if I had chose a route of education, are those options available to us out here?
I am not aware of any programs within the community that are connected with South Suburban College and the education program. So
Okay.
we do not have an affiliate program like that I'm aware of.
And is that because CPS is so large and out here in the suburbs we're so small, or is that just because no one has done the business development to make that connection?
I wouldn't be able to speak to that because it's outside of my realm, but
Okay.
I think that city colleges do have a strong connection with the Chicago public schools. So I can imagine, I can see that correlation, but I wouldn't be able, to say the reason why we don't have that connection.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good question, and it sounds like a really good opportunity for students. And I know that South Suburban College participated in the Bridges to Baccalaureate program with the University of Chicago. And we were helping students that were STEM majors like science, tech, and math, and nursing, biology. And they were learning how to do research. They had a summer internship, participated in and presented at a national conference. And many of those students transferred to UIC after participating in that program. And they did something similar to that this past winter break, over Christmas break. They had a similar program called the UIC Winter Guild. So we do have some programs that are designed to help students transition into the university life, but just not exactly like what you're describing City Colleges is doing.
Now, I saw that post that you posted for the winter break thing. Now, that isn't restricted. I hate to age myself. That isn't restricted to age, because what I've been experiencing is a lot of these programs offer these bridge programs or these break programs over the break, over the fall, but they'll say it's from 16 to 24, as if college students, non-traditional students, are not outside of that age realm. So do South Suburban encounter those kind of problems where it's 16 to 24 only?
No, I have not witnessed that myself. And we have a very diverse population of students. And as I was sharing, there's high school students, and there are students that are retirement age. So I have not encountered that. So definitely it would have to be, a rule on the university's part if something like that was implemented, because South Suburban always opens it up to students regardless of age. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. And William, thank you so much for keeping us organized and on track. I appreciate all your help today. Thank you all for attending and transitioning from class to this workshop today. I hope it's been informative and can help you, be successful throughout your time at South Suburban College. There is a link here if you can complete the academic survival skills survey. It should be short, quick, and easy. I really appreciate it. All feedback is welcome, good, bad, or indifferent. And Sapphire, go right ahead with your question.
Okay, I just wanted to know, so I'm undecided. I have no idea what I want to do. I've taken all types of assessments and quizzes and such, but I felt like it was a good idea to aim for certificates until I figure out what I want to do. What is your opinion on that?
My personal advisement would be only to complete certificates that are going towards your goal. So I've had some students that may have an interest in criminal justice and maybe they want to do a certificate or interest in computers and they want to take a small certificate, but it is designed or geared towards something you have an interest in. If that's the case, then yes, that is very much a smart idea because our certificates are stackable and you can use them to get an Associate of Applied Science degree or use those credits towards a transfer degree and use them as electives. So that is a good idea if you're still exploring.
Okay.
Yep. Good question. Good question. Any others before I let everyone go for the day? Any others? Okay, good. I appreciate everyone for joining me today again, taking time out to be here and switching gears. Monday is Martin Luther King observance holiday, so no class sessions will be held for students that are enrolled in courses that meet on Mondays, and we are one of them for Psych 101. So we will not meet for our Psych 101 class until Wednesday of next week. But I am available via email. Please remember I'm off on Fridays. And aside from that, you can reach me though, because I'm working virtually and I seem to have a lot more free time due to the pandemic. So sometimes emails are getting answered, even though I try to disconnect and exercise self-care. So just send it and I will respond to you as soon as possible. You all take care and have a great rest of the day and 3-day weekend and all of those things. Take care, everyone.